Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today, we're going to be going over Brandon Biggs' final prophecy for 2024 going into 2025. I'm also going to be going over Brandon Biggs' prophecy timeline. And folks, this is important because we're living in an age where there's a lot of people that are claiming to be prophets or they're claiming to hear from God, and people need to be able to hear the most prophetically accurate voices. And as long as we've been on this channel, we've been seeing people come and go over the years. People prophesy about the Dinar dates and time frames or the wealth transfer dates and time frames. So it's not uncommon to see this. If God's sheep truly hear his voice, that voice is not going to be wrong. And it's one of the reasons why I've advocated for people to follow chart readers, good ones, people who know what they're talking about when it comes to the economy, when it comes to the stock market, or when it comes to trading. Because once you learn these things, it's easy to see through a lot of things, especially there's a lot of people that have claimed over the years to see price movements of this or that or crashes and all this. And it didn't line up with what like chart readers or financial experts were saying. Now, we've been expecting a meltdown in the economy in the stock market for the longest time. We know it's propped up, $37 trillion in debt, right? And then you also have all these fears of war and all these things. Now, we've been expecting the wealth transfer, which is something that happens all the time, right? You could go back to the 1900s. You could go back at any time when there was a major stock market crash. That is called a wealth transfer. So in order to have a wealth transfer, you have to have a market crash. All right, let's go ahead and get into the video. I'm going to go ahead and play it. It's only 1 minute long. And then we're going to go over his entire timeline that was supposed to take place in 2024 and 2025. So this is from December 14th of 2023. And this was the video that made everybody think that the dinar revalue was going to happen in 2024.
A great economic crash, a major crash in the winter months of 2024. I saw going into 2025, and I saw it was very dark again. I saw black, but I saw a great black depression. It felt like depression, like a heaviness in the spirit realm when I was praying. I felt a very heavy presence, like depression. And I kept hearing the word a great depression, a great depression. And it was into 2025. And I heard this over and over. 2025, a great depression. And I could see going all the way into 2025, something that we've never, in this generation, has ever seen before. Going clear up into 2026, going clear into 2027.
All right, so folks, that was the prophecy. So at this point, we should have already been in a Great Depression. So this Great Depression was supposed to start in December and then go through into 2025, 2026, and 2027. So is there anybody out there that wouldn't prepare for this? If you really believed in what he was saying, you would have maybe even sold your house and moved, or maybe you would have taken all your money out of the bank, or you would have done things that would have resembled what people do during a Great Depression. Did anybody that follows Brandon Biggs actually prepare for this fully and completely? If you really believed it, that's almost like when people believe that we're living in the tribulation period, which I don't believe that. But if you really truly believed in certain things like that, you would not be on YouTube. So let's go ahead and take a look at his overall prophecy timeline. Now, I have documented all of these prophecies on my channel. It's documented in other places, so if it's ever lost, I have everything. All right, so this is his 2024, what was supposed to take place, timeline of Brandon Biggs. In this video right here, analyzing Brandon Biggs' 2023-24 crucial financial prophecies, I've documented all of these things concerning his prophecies for what was supposed to take place. Now, in December of 2023, we were supposed to have a crypto and stock market explosion. We did not see that happen, right? Not an explosion. When people talk about explosions in the stock market, explosion in the crypto markets, it's really technically, especially when you look at the stock market, it's really barely moved, right? And things with the crypto markets have inched up slowly. But the next thing that he said was it was supposed to happen January through June of 2024, a supernatural outpouring on finances, right? So did we see that in the stock and crypto market? We did not see that. There's supposed to be an explosion of prices of goods going down, right? That's what he said, that it was going to take place, and we did not see the explosion of goods going down. January of 2024, the BRICS dollar launch, right? It was supposed to have launched in January of 2024. That did not happen. January through June of 2024, there were supposed to be 2 interest rate cuts by the end of June. We didn't see any of that. And folks, this is very important. If you're a wealthy millionaire and you're listening to this guy and you make money based off of what the interest rates are, would you listen to this guy after his prophecies failed? You would have maybe lost money in that. Right? So we didn't see 2 interest rates cuts by the end of June. And then also by the end of June, springtime of 2024, the wealth transfer was supposed to have happened. Was there a wealth transfer, right? So he's just added to the list of a lot of other people who have prophesied a date and a time frame that has failed. Then there was supposed to be the Iraqi Dinar RV, which was supposed to take place between June through December, because according to his own words, right, and we'll get into that there was supposed to be a stock market rug pull, right? And everybody who had gained money from the dinar would lose it, right? So this event should have taken place between June through December. July through August of 2024, inflation expands. So we were supposed to have an explosion of prices going down and then an explosion of prices going up starting in July. July through September, there was supposed to be the 3rd rate cut. And that 3rd rate cut would lead to the September-October economy market bubble bursting. That's according to what Brandon said. December of 2024, the stock market crash. Everyone in December would lose all their gains they made from the stock market and the dinar revaluation. Okay, that was supposed to have happened in December of 2024. That did not happen. Then December of 2024 through 2027, the first event was this Great Depression, and that there'd be all these bad things happening. He has a lot more other videos that he's taken down that explain what was supposed to have taken place. And then also all the banks would confiscate all the money. That's what he said. But he said all the banks would confiscate the money, and he said he didn't know how it was going to happen legally and all of that, right? This was everything that he said, that he heard God say, the Holy Spirit say, Jesus say, angels say. All these things were supposed to take place. And they didn't happen. And I want you guys to understand how dangerous something like this is. So if the sheep knows Jesus' voice and they hear his voice, is his voice going to be accurate? Yes, it is. He said before in his previous video that people who invested and gained from the stock market and the dinar would lose it all because of the market crash, right? Now he is flipping that and saying that the people who would sit on the dinar would lose it all. I'm going to tell you this, folks. Brandon is all over the place. He's seeing visions of his own heart and his own mind. He's all over the place. And if God wanted to validate his prophets, he would have done it with Brandon. And to be truth be told, folks, his prophecy concerning Trump, all 3 phases never took place. Because first, that the bullet went by his ear, but he actually got hit by the bullet. And he never prophesied blood until after the Trump event happened. The second thing that was supposed to have happened, he was supposed to get down on his knees and worship. Now, if you listen to the recording, when Trump was down on his knees and he was being covered by the Secret Service agents, there's not one word about prayer, about Jesus, or anything like that. Then the third thing that would happen was he was supposed to be on fire for Christ. Okay. Now, recently, Trump made a statement saying that he thinks when you take the life of an unborn, that should be extended from 6 weeks to further out. Right? He thinks that timeline should be expanded. So I don't see him on fire yet either, because somebody who's on fire for Jesus would not say that. There's all these different people. He's not the only one. There's a bunch of people have done something similar like this, and they support him financially. They watch his videos. They think everything is just a delay. So you mean to tell me, out of all the prophets and all the dreamers that we have come across over the last 7 years, you mean to tell me that every time they're wrong, that it's always a delay? He's telling all these different prophets that the wealth transfer is going to happen, the Dinar RV is going to happen, and this is going to happen with crypto, and then it all fails. And then we're expect to believe that God told all these different people, all these different rates and timelines and everything else, and it's all a delay? People need to wake up. Do you think God will pull his people all through this, leading into a Great Depression? People pulling their money out of the bank because it's going to get confiscated? Do you think that all of this, that God is going to pull you through all of this? You guys need to wake up. And this is more than just spiritual, because there are some people that are mentally not all there in the head, and they are seeing things with their own visions of their own heart. Remember, Brandon did the same thing in 2013. By Brandon's own admission, he misled everybody in his church that the Great Depression, stock market crash, Dinar RV, all that stuff was supposed to happen then, and it didn't happen. And he got kicked out of his church, and he's doing the same thing. He built his channel off of YouTube prophecies concerning the financial realm. He built his channel on a sand foundation, right? What does the Bible say about building your house on sand or rock? Right? He built his following off of prophesying about the wealth transfer and the Iraqi Dinar RV and all these other things dealing with the stock market, and it all failed. He built his entire channel off of prophetic lies. I don't care how much he talks about Jesus. So, folks, you have a choice to make. And I'm at the point to where I'm not releasing as much information. I'm not sharing some of the same things. I'm not sharing what the canon prophecies, the prophecies that told us when these events, how it would unfold. I'm not sharing those as much as I do, because I don't want these guys trying to change their prophecies, trying to make themselves look like they're right all of a sudden. Brandon is flip-flopping. He flip-flopped on the dinar. He's flip-flopping on the market crash. He's flip-flopping on everything. God is not the author of confusion. And a true prophet is not going to delete all their videos of all their old prophecies if there's nothing to hide. He doesn't want people to know that he made all these false prophecies. That's why he's put them on private or deleted. You can think what you want. You want to follow somebody that's confused, that thinks that they hear from God. That is your prerogative. When it comes to this channel and my group, this is the way that it is. If you don't like it, you don't have to support me. I've lost a lot of financial support over the years for telling the truth, so it doesn't even really matter to me anymore. Jesus said that if you receive a prophet in the name of a prophet, you'll receive that prophet's reward. Well, what happens when you receive a prophet who's inaccurate, or a false prophet, or a prophet that can never get it right? You're going to receive that reward too. According to the Bible, you guys know what the Bible is, right? It tells us how to judge prophecy. In Deuteronomy 18, verse 21 and 22, it says, "And if you say in your heart, how shall we know the word which the Lord has not spoken? When a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the thing does not happen or come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord has not spoken. The prophet has spoken presumptuously, you shall not be afraid of him." So me doing this, I'm not afraid, because he never gets it right. And this is what I'm going to close on. God is not the author of confusion. This whole situation with Brandon Biggs is nothing but confusion. He's deleting videos, he's removing videos, he's changing his prophecies, and he's claiming that we prayed away the wealth transfer. He actually said that we prayed away the wealth transfer. So that is up to you on what you do. You've been told, you've been warned. And if you want to keep following people, it is not just Brandon, it's many others who use the Lord's name in vain, that bear false witness against God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, Are you going to continue to allow these prophets to continue to use his name in that way, in that manner, and excuse it? God didn't excuse it, so why are you? God shared with me why people protect these prophets, because you love money more than you love God. You love the prophet and what they say more than you love God and what God says. Because if you were the opposite, you would speak up when these prophets speak lies in God's name. No, you just continue to follow them. And you're going to receive that prophet's reward. That's all that I have for this. I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.